Start. Weekend at Bernie's is our president. Hey, Arthur, it's great to see you. How are you? I tried to set up a Venmo account, but it didn't work out for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I need help, but right now, as it is, PayPal's still working, but they're cutting me off at some point after the holidays. And my email, as well as my PayPal, is hollybaglio11@gmail.com. My name, Holly Baglio, 11@gmail.com. That stuff is like giving me such a problem, and it's such a headache. Complete headache. Let's see. I gotta drink more water. I think the kratom is dehydrating me, but also I'm taking 1,200 milligrams of guafenicin in the morning and 1,200 milligrams of guafenicin in the evening. But you have to remember to drink a lot of water. You can find guafenicin in things such as Mucinex. Back when I had my 2 sinus surgeries, it was a prescription back then. And the ear, nose, and throat doctor would give me 1,200 in the morning and 1,200 in the evening. But you have to drink a lot of water, because instead of like your ears getting plugged shut with the guafenicin, I'll have the opposite, where it's like my ears get stuck open and everything is amplified and everything hurts my ears really bad. So always drink a lot of water, even if you're going to take Mucinex, and there's probably only 2, 3, maybe 400 milligrams of guafenicin. Still drink a lot of fluids with that. Everybody, one of my good friends on Facebook, I love him and his wife, but he pops up and I don't know, the Holy Spirit must keep us connected, because he'll pop up in my inbox and he'll be like, drink water. And I'm like, just the fact that you're popping up, I know. That's Heavenly Abba speaking through you. I surrender. I'm listening. And I literally get up when he does that. I literally get up and I go to the kitchen and I make sure I get a big, huge glass of water. I'm starting to get my voice back, and I really appreciate that. So the antibiotics are working. I don't know. Good luck. My one friend is having trouble. I don't know what to do about PayPal. I really don't want any of it. I want to be able to find a 1 or 2 day a week job under the table. I'm allowed to make such amount of money without upsetting anything and staying within the laws or requirements of disability, but I can't find it, and it's really tough. Or they want you working on Saturdays, and honestly, Heavenly Abba really impressed upon me to hold the Sabbath holy. Because he let us out of Egypt once, he's going to do it again, except this is going to be a global exodus when he comes to gather us. But we're going to be on the earth for that stuff. We're not flapping away out in the air somewhere. Yeah, I really dig into those rapturists. Can I have a moment, please? I would like to put more sugar in my kratom. I have red barley. Hopefully, the red barley will relax my neck and back and take away the pain. And right now, as it is, I called my altars forward, and well, they were already forward because I want to reintegrate, so that process is happening. But I called a couple of them and I asked them to not take on the pain. Like, you have a scapegoat, so you throw everything at the scapegoat to deal with. No, not to pass it on, but rather to just slay the pain. Heavenly Abba gives us armor. Well, then I want to take my sword and I want to stab it into the pain. Okay, so my sinuses are getting better. They're starting to get under control. So it took a full 5 days of antibiotics just to get that part settled. But the migraine itself, it's still stinging. There's a couple spots in my back. Oh, man, if I could have a masseuse. But you got to have the touch of those healing hands. Some people give you a massage and they wind up making you feel like you need to go to the ER afterwards. I don't want one of those. I want like a soft, gentle one. And, oh, geez, you know what worked? Is acupuncture. But I don't go to that and do that anymore. Hey, Kathleen, I've been meaning to call you back. I still have a note to call you back, but I've been feeling awful. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Selah. And I ask him to send his warring angels to minister to me, to help me in spiritual battle, and to give me refuge in Yeshua's name. And my burden is light, Selah. So what I did was I passed the pain. I passed my system off to another altar. I gave her a different job function. So instead of her not caring about people, she's not going to care about the pain, and she's just going to slay it. So while she has control of my system and she's dealing with the pain, I, the Core Holly, get to sit here with you. And so long as I don't make any fast movements or hear really loud sounds or bright lights or smell something bad, so long as I move slowly, I can pretend there is no physical pain of a migraine surging and coursing through my body. And it's so bad that now it's just haywire. Now it's got my fibromyalgia set off. So when I get in the shower, the water from the shower head hurts. I haven't seen Aaron or Harmony in a long time. I hope they're not mad at me. I reached out to them, but I didn't hear back from them. They probably think all the stuff that was going on when they read my diary, they probably thought it was about them, but it wasn't. It was about somebody completely else. That's why I don't use names. Well, number one, I can't. But that's a drawback that I can't use names, because then people read my diary and they're like, Holly's talking about me. No, actually, I'm not. I've got other situations going on. A lot of other situations. You guys here, when I get to hang out with you guys, and then from here sometimes we get to have private video calls or phone calls through Messenger. That's like, I enjoy that time. But I still have other stuff going on besides that. Like I got my hands in other things, so I'm around other sets of people. And liars crushed in 2 minutes what I built, what took me 7 years to build up. So I was handling that for a lot of months, and I'm still handling it, but there's still a little bit more work on my part that I need to do before it's completely handled and put away. You know, I even had to change wrenches around in my chat room, and people were taking that personally. And it's like, don't do that. There's other things going on. So I'll just strip everybody of their wrench, and when you come back in, I'll give it to certain people. But the point of a wrench is to protect me from trolls, so unless somebody's willing to throw it down, there's really no sense in having it. And you gotta know my trolls too, how they slither in. So Alka-Seltzer. I mean, I have like, my back is sopping wet. I'm cold, but the physical pain, which I'm pretending I don't feel, has me sweating. Greta, good morning. You sling wrenches, don't you, Greta? Whack-a-troll. I used to challenge people on Doug Hagman's when I was a moderator for Doug and Joe Hagman. I used to challenge the other mods to see who was fastest at whacking the trolls. Once in a blue moon, I was the fastest, but boy, it was once in a blue moon. And I happened to be there at the right place at the right time for a change in my life. And I popped up one night when one of the admins was giving out wrenches, and I was like, boy, I love you guys so much, and I've been here for a while. Plus, I got my own channel. Man, if you give me a wrench, I promise you won't regret doing it. And they didn't, so. Cool. Good morning. Now I was looking at my face. Excuse me. That hurt my ears. Like in here. I don't have makeup on, but it looks like it. I only put a little mascara on. You can't even see the mascara I put on. I better not get too close to the camera. The AI is going to start scanning my eyeballs. But just like in through here. And my rosacea's back. That's why I got color. It's rosacea. Right out of the ballpark. Oh yeah, so I stole somebody else's joke. I was in Dan Bedoni's chat room trying to listen to the news, but then a certain point came, I had to turn it off. Just the news, it was irking me. I got irked. It wasn't Dan, it wasn't the chat room, just the news itself irked me, so I left. But somebody had said something in there and I stole their joke flat outright. So I didn't come up with that all on my own. I rightfully stole it from somebody else. You guys remember the movie Weekend at Bernie's, right? I remember in grammar school, me and my 3 friends, Mike, Eric, and Robert, we would all have our parents drop us off. Well, my grandparents would drop me off, but we would all meet in Bernardsville at the movie theater. And the 4 of us, you know, my grandfather stood there and waited, and their parents were there, so we would all meet. And they'd drop us off, and we'd go in and watch a 2-hour, well, back then it was 2 hours long, you know, possibly 2.5 hours long. That's back when they made good movies. Now you're lucky to see an hour and 15 minutes of a movie. That's because of people's attention spans and Anyway, without getting into that, but it was a lot of fun. And I remember sitting there with them watching A Weekend at Bernie's. And I was like, I don't really think that this is a funny movie because I was literally watching them dead, like in the movie, they're dragging a dead man around. So, yeah, that's our president right now, Bernie. That's what I'm calling him, is Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's. And now he's our president. I'm starting to get my appetite back. I just don't have energy to cook. I still got my beef stroganoff in there. It should be good. I barely even opened the refrigerator itself. I got it packed up. That beef stroganoff came out good. My two neighbors loved it. My two elderly neighbors. One's paralyzed on the left side and doesn't have use of his left arm. And the other lady, she's not mobile. I gotta go food shopping for her in an hour, and I'm not looking forward to it because I feel so crappy. But she can't get out. We could do that, have the Walmart deliver thing, but lately they haven't been getting here till 8, 9 o'clock. Sometimes I'm sleeping. And I've been taking 3 or 4 hour long naps during the day. But it gets so quiet around here that if you close your eyes and you're still, it's just like you are sleeping. Ha ha ha. I am the mad scientist. Look at my concoction. Huh? Pretty loud. I didn't get it broadcast in on Friday. I haven't felt good to even stand up to cook, really. I haven't suffered migraines in a long time. I was hospitalized for migraines when I was a teenager. I missed the first couple of days of school because I was rushed to the ER. My doctor thought I had spinal meningitis, and they ran all sorts of tests on me, and it turned out to be migraines. So, I guess whatever the side effects are for spinal meningitis, I had my one doctor flipped out when they brought me in the hospital. They treated me like I was highly contagious, and it turned out to just be migraines. But I guess with spinal meningitis, you stiffen up. And I don't know what the symptoms are, but apparently I exhibited all those symptoms. That's what it was I came in the doctor's office. He took one look at me, and he was like, "Get on the table." I'm like... So I get on the table, and I was laying down, and that's what he did. He went and he tried to lift up my leg. I about hit the roof. I was like, I screamed. I screamed at him. I was like, "Ow, stop. I can't do that." He's like, "Let me see you sit up." I was like, "Give me a minute or two." And oh man. It was bad. It took me a couple of minutes to I was so stiff I had to squirm around and try to kind of roll off the table and onto my feet to stand up. I was stiff as a board and in so much pain. Ooh, and he made my parents take me right away to the hospital. No, actually it wasn't even that. They called the ambulance. And the ambulance came and got me. That's what it was. The ambulance came. But it turned out to be migraines. Yeah, man, I remember in grammar school, coming home on the school bus, laying down in the 3-seaters. with a pound and bang and headache, on the verge of vomiting, sick as a dog. The bus, I knew the bus, the route, so I knew when it was my stop. I knew the roads and all that stuff. I could feel the bus come up to my road, and I would come off the bus, and my gram was awesome. She'd meet me off the bus, and I can't tell you how many times I would drag myself off the bus, take one look at her, and she basically just kind of sort of I'd lean on her, and she'd just carry me in and put me in the bed, and that was it. She would take blankets and put them over the window. She turned off the telephones. If people came over the house, she took them outside to talk to them. She's like, she was really great. She was really great. I suffered a lot. But I've been doing so well, I don't get migraines. And now that I got one, I'm like, holy crap. I mean, I typically suffer my IBS and fibromyalgia, my arthritis pain. Oh, I still got to check out that website you sent me, Greta. I haven't done it yet. I did get this Delta 8. It's like CBD. It doesn't really work at all. If it does, I'm not noticing it. There was a time, though, I had gotten these pills from this girl. She said it was homemade, and it was Delta 8 plus Kratom in a gel tap. I should have asked her if it had THC in it. I didn't think to do that. Man, did they work? There was a couple of months back where I was suffering really bad with endometriosis, and that floors me. But that stuff I had gotten on 2 occasions, that knocked it out of me. I should have asked her if it had THC in it. It probably did. But like, whatever the combination was that this kid concocted with the Delta 8 plus the Kratom, it worked. I was like blown out of my socks. It worked so well. I was like, this is like automatic ER assistance right here in this little pill. Like, I don't need an ER anymore. I just give me this pill. Because it knocked the endometriosis pain, it knocked it right out of me. I was really blown away by it. I should call her up and see. I can't because I don't have... I should see if she has some back in the store. And if I go all the way down there, then I should grab that, and then I should go visit the doctor that's down that way. Huh. Anyway. So... this vape, oh no, you're talking about this vape, the Delta 8. It's I got the sativa kind, of course. But it's just, it doesn't feel like it's giving me all the help that I know I could get it. I love you, brainwashed 444. I love those numbers too, 444. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I'm saving up to take Keeper for the vet. Otherwise, I was gonna get my medicinal license That way I don't have to depend on people, and I can just take myself to a dispensary and pick up sativa, because sativa is really what works. And I can get the edibles too. Because again, it's not that I'm not after the head high. I'm after the effects that it gives to my body and the pain relief. Sativa kills the pain, gives me, well, it helps to kill the pain. It doesn't get rid of all of it, but it helps to kill it. It gives me energy. It makes me happy, and it stimulates my appetite. I want to eat, and I want to eat a vast variety of things. And it's like an automatic antidepressant, anti-anxiety, stomach acid pill, plus muscle relaxer, plus energy, all wrapped up into one, instead of having 33 prescriptions and 8 doctors each month for those prescriptions. There's a plant, I can eat it. And over here are no more Rex. Really? I like the gummies. The 1,000 milligram gummies. I had those before. Oh my God. I kid you not. I felt like I was a healthy person again. I felt like I wasn't disabled. Mentally, emotionally, and physically. I wish, California, man. I remember when I went cross country, I met a couple people in Utah. Oh my gosh. Great. Just great stuff. You would never find that stuff out here on the East Coast. Well, now that there's dispensaries open, possibly, but it's the sativa strain that really gives me the most relief. I don't really like the Delta 8 because it's like the CBD. It kind of really doesn't do anything. It's like missing something. Thank you so much, Brainwashed. 7 years ago, when I came off all of my prescriptions and I fired. You are fired. Literally, you are fired. I fired all my doctors. I even wrote them letters. You're fired. It was cannabis, sativa in particular, that got me off all of those prescriptions and got me out of visiting 8 doctors every month for prescriptions and procedures, and for their personal opinions to dictate the treatment of my personal health, which is not right. They're there for a reason. Their personal opinion is unnecessary. Just give me your prescription, Pat. I gave you the money. Do your job. You're a glorified drug dealer at best. At very best. So, and nowadays they can't even do that much right. They'll see you sitting there in pain and not give 2 flying flips about it. And I pray that these doctors that have given me that measure, I pray that it's returned back to them so they know what it's like, so they never again do it to another person. Yeah, cannabis got me off the prescriptions. It got me detoxed from all of the prescriptions. Not only that, I stayed off all of those prescriptions for 7 years now and counting. In January of 2022, it'll be 8 years. Hey, Tiffany, I'm humbled, sweetheart. I'm really humbled. Thank you very much. I love you, sweetheart. Yeshua blessings to you and yours. Fur babies, too, if you have them. And I'll be praying for you. But, yeah, I've had like the 1,000 milligram gummies, and I kid you, and it was sativa too. And I kid you not, it felt like I was a healthy person again. It really felt like I was healthy again. And I know that this tincture works too, because there was a VW function out here in New Jersey a couple years back, and someone from California flew out, and he had tincture with him, and he gave me a bottle of it. I was like, oh my goodness, I feel like I feel okay. I feel okay. But also with the cannabis, I have to say this. I use the cannabis to detox off of all of my prescriptions, and no longer do I live in a bottle. Not a prescription bottle, not an alcohol bottle either. No bottles. So that in itself is a miracle, and I've stayed off of them. But then because I use the cannabis to detox from the prescriptions and fire my doctors, it had a double blessing in it for me, because then all of my MK Ultra memories came flooding back, and I had remembered that I was used as a super soldier. I remembered the assassination attempts. I remember the cages. I remember some of the people. I remember the satanic rituals and sacrifices. I remember Joseph Mengele. So all of those memories came back. So the cannabis broke down the mind control programming, the mind control hypnotism, the amnesia blocks and walls that they instilled in my brain to prevent me from remembering. Hypnotism is extremely dangerous. With hypnotism, if you really know what you're doing, you can get into areas of the mind that are the parts of the mind that tell your heart to beat and tell your eyes to blink without you thinking about it and without you consciously having to do it yourself. And that's also where in the brain they implant suicide programming, because suicide programming is when you are programmed, you and your body are programmed that on certain commands it will shut down its organs and kill itself, suicide itself. And that's by commands. Just like you pull forward an altar with commands, you can pull forward that suicide programming. It's that easy if you know what you're doing. Is the only drug they will not give victims. They know it breaks the programming. I read her book, PTSD, A Time to Heal. It was great. I concur. I completely agree with her. Yeah, I used to just take the bud and eat it. Preferably. Autonomic nervous system. Wow. Really? At Flemington? No way. I was just thinking about Flemington earlier. There's a dive bar out there I was thinking about going into to see if the old characters were still there. I'm like, I could really use a pain pill or two to knock it out of me. Anyway, I'm not thinking about it. I'm pretending it doesn't exist. I'm putting my back to that migraine. And what's worse is, I'll tell you this, guys, is it's bothering me so bad and hurting so bad, I can feel my TMJ come back in my jaw. So just as soon as I start getting my voice back from my allergies and sinuses, now I'm going to lose it because of TMJ. It's the damn stress. Yeah, I follow Kathy O'Brien. I reached out to her. I wanted to do a video with her, but she didn't respond to me. Shoot. I wanted to do a fringe broadcast, and because I'm so public, I wanted her to use me as an example and stuff, like to dig in, like I could be used as the example. And we could use me personally for her to like use an example of or something. I wanted to do a broadcast with her and to talk about her book, PTSD, A Time to Heal. I really enjoyed it. And when I read it, I was like, wow, I did everything except, well, now I have, where'd it go? I don't use it, of course. But she said, get a watch. I got a watch. Of course, it's a skeleton because I'm so skinny. It's a skeleton. It's really cool. So I got a watch. But she says, don't put up the process public because you could be telling your testimony to the very people that harmed you. Okay, well, that I did publicly. But that was a conscious decision to do it that way. I purposefully put my recovery up public. And yeah, I fell under a lot of scrutiny. I fell under a lot of attacks for doing it, but I wouldn't change anything because I tell you what, there was a whole bunch of people out there that thought, wait a minute, what Holly's talking about, I'm going through a similar thing. And then with Yeshua and time, they've woken up to being programmed or used in some capacity or some way. Whole entire families being used. Hypnotism is an extremely powerful, powerful tool. Joseph Mengele was a Nazi mastermind scientist. A great sorcerer, too. And of course, with him dabbling in necromancy and dark arts, of course, he's going to be getting his information from the dark side, right? I'll catch you soon, too, Kathleen. Have a nice day. Controls atomic nervous system. My friend makes that gold stuff that you drink. I want to buy some from him. But see, I have like these trust issues, so I don't think that's going to happen. I've known him for many, many years. We talk very personally and very candidly with one another. But I don't know. Accepting like food or drink from strangers. We saw what happened a couple of months ago with the diatomaceous earth and I got poisoned. So anyway, I don't have too much to talk about. I'm dreading having to go to the store. I don't want to go out. It also controls much of the hormone function, which is why nearly all the survivors have hormonal imbalances. That's another thing, Becca. That's another thing. I know I'm 47. I thought maybe, early menopause could be an issue for me because of the extreme trauma and torture I've gone through in my life. But so far, I've had hormonal imbalances, but it's not like a menopause issue. God tells me I'm probably going to be turning into a pumpkin once a month for several more years longer to come. So, but I lost my period and then I got my period recently. So that's a hormonal imbalance. It could also be malnutrition. It could be stress. It could be a combination of a lot of things. So I'm trying to be mindful of all things and do something about it. I'm really not looking forward to shopping for my neighbor. I just want to go study the inside of my eyelids and sleep. I don't know what to get over the counter, Becca, for hormones. I'm going to have to educate myself. I used to know all that stuff, but I haven't exercised that information in so long. I forgot it all. But I used to know about all the different vitamins and minerals and what to take to make sure your body absorbs them all. But I forget now. Plus, I lost all of my books. I was parted from my possessions. So that's another reason why I lost all of that information. I know I can get it again, but like I walked into a Barnes and Noble the other week and I was really dismayed. They've got like nothing. Really, they don't. I looked in their Christian section and they make it look complicated. And they don't have that much of a good selection. Then of course I went over and I looked at the books of magic, because I wanted to read them and see what they said. I wanted to see their incantations and stuff like that. What I plan to do is go to the library and go up to the lady. I should run a live stream when I do this. That'll probably be an interesting conversation. Go up to the lady and say, excuse me, it's been a long time since I've really used the library, but can you tell me how to look up Satanism, sacrifices, and Luciferianism books? I better bring my clergy credentials and say, listen, this is all for investigation purposes. I'm not becoming one. I'm not going to do any of that. But I want to know what they do, so when I come across something, I'll understand what I'm looking at, because I'll understand what they've done. So, all right, guys, what do I need at the store? I need a couple of things. Tell me, what do I need? I need money. Okay, first we gotta go knock off a bank. And I need a piece of paper. What did I want to get? Alka-Seltzer. There was something else I wanted to get. A husband. No, I'm kidding. Right? Right? Nah, I want to ask him about, I'm going to ask him, like, can you get me an English version of the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead? Can you get me an English translation of it, please? Like, have you ever heard of Russ Dizdar? Okay, look that guy up, and then you'll know why. But yeah, because I'm going to ask her, like, listen, I need, like, your most heinous books about this stuff. And trace minerals. Oh, man. I used to have a bottle of this stuff that had trace minerals. And you would take, like, 10 drops of it and put it in your water. While moving, I lost it. When I moved back to New Jersey, I lost it. It either fell out of my car, or I forgot to put it back in, or I left it at a hotel. There was one hotel I left a whole bunch of food and stuff at, because I didn't want my car jammed packed driving to Angelica, New York, because I was tricked and fell for a trick because of trolls, those rotten bastards. And then all the way back through Binghamton, New York, back home to Long Valley. That was long. I think back to that time. And I was so unsettled because I was coming back to New Jersey to nobody and nothing. It was like I was showing up in New Jersey and then like, now what? My friends really weren't expecting me, I'll tell you that much, because they thought I might go out to Idaho. Or Michigan, or a couple of places, but I'm just homesick for Jersey. I miss the stench air. So, but it was so great to be back home to New Jersey, and like I love my apartment here. I love my place. I'm not going anywhere. I am not ever putting my stuff in another box or bag and lugging it all over. The year of 2019 was dread awful. I took advice of everybody, and I should not have listened to any one of them because everything they said was bad advice. I should have listened to my own gut instinct, and I should have told people to back off. They think they might know Jesus, but they don't know everything, and they're wrong. You get plastic, religious, fanatical Christians, you can't tell them anything. It's just like the rapturists. You can't talk to them. They're not interested in the truth. They're interested in an easy way out. The apostles did not have an easy way out. They had it tough. But in the end, they led some of the most extraordinary lives. We're still hearing about them. Trump. Really? I pray warning signs. I pray that child trafficking is exposed. I pray that everybody involved in it, especially in Hollywood, is exposed. I've had to come to terms with I might have Stockholm Syndrome over Steven Tyler. I can't believe I just heard myself say that. Hi, Huntress. Perfect timing, Huntress. We've been working. This is my healing pillar. How are you doing? I'm praying for you because I know you're going through a shit time too. It's like that shit demons all over us. What are they called again? Gollum? But they're literally shit demons. There's no other way to explain it. I'm praying for you, Huntress, because I know you've been having it hard and you've been getting pummeled like me. Turmeric. I've got turmeric. Thank you, warning signs. I passed my system off to an altar right now. She is not taking on the pain. She has gotten her weapons from the armor of God, and she is slaying the pain and stabbing it with the sword so that I can sit here and talk to you and not have to feel it. I can't take it anymore, Huntress. I'm like, I can't take it anymore. It hurts so goddamn bad. Oh. Beyonce, that pig. Hey, Gabrielle, it's great to see you. That pig. Well, look at Jay-Z. Biggest pimp, huh? Biggest pimp of kids. disgusting. None of what they've done here on earth will ever stand up to God. Hey, it's Warrior for Christ. Praise be to you, Devafe, for Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeah, but you've been going through it too. The survivors are getting hit extra hard. It's a distraction. They're not winning, Antris. They're not. I'm still kicking. Oh man, if I had the money, I would get Japanese takeout food. That would make me feel better. Miso soup. Oh my gosh. I gotta learn how to make miso soup. I gotta wait for my food stamps next week. And then maybe I can make homemade miso soup. Oh, that stuff is so good for you. And good for digestion. I never thought of it. Don't talk about food. I'm sorry. Miso soup. I've been eating cold cottage cheese. I wanted a cheeseburger last night, but then I got over hungry because I was right smack dab in the middle of my Bible studies and I couldn't break away to cook. So then my hunger went away and then I just had, hey, Galactic Angels, how are you? That movie, A Weekend at Bernie's, I stole that joke from someone else last night. It was someone else said it on Dan Bedondi's and I stole it from them. Weekend at Bernie's. Bernie's our president. Excuse me. Bernie's our president now. Thai spicy. I used to love Thai food. When I worked for Pharmacia, there was a Thai restaurant down the way. When I was working like 77 long hour weeks, and when dinner time would come, usually I was the last one left in the building. There was like me and maybe a couple of the vice presidents, but then just the cleaning crew. But I'd be like the last person to leave, and then I'd be the first person to come in. I was getting in at work at 4 a.m. when I worked for Pharmacia, just as a secretary. I was on executive staff though. So I was putting together meetings and I would have to call all over the place. Like, Pharmacia does business in a lot of countries. So I was calling France, Spain, and all these countries. And I'm English speaking. And I'd be like, hello, this is Holly Baglio from Pharmacia in New Jersey. Do you have a translator? Can you speak English? But yeah, I would have to get in at like 4 a.m. and then I'd have to, make the flight arrangements for my boss to go out of country. Kellogg's and Post cereal have poison in them. Damn Rothschild. We are winning no matter what it looks like. Yes. Correct. They're making so obvious the president isn't real. Yep. Right, Alter? It might be the humble people. After the elections, I stopped with the news. It was also triggering because, with the COVID and the different variants, the variants were triggering me. It just got so much. I just turned it all off. Excuse me 1 second. Stay hydrated. Yeah, I just need vitamins and minerals in general. Excuse me 1 second. What am I looking for, guys? Hang on. I remembered. It's not findable. It's not findable. I wish I could hold the accent. I used to like to do that to mimic different accents. I can't do it anymore. But like southern accents or like an AT&T operator. Hello? Hello, Holly. Are you home? You ever talk to a person that, like, when they say your name, they ruin it? Oh, Holly. Oh, Holly. Holly. You didn't say it in love. Yeah, and I didn't say it in hatred either. I said it in honesty and truth. That was it. It's just not findable. When I'm outside with Keeper, I'll be talking to her. I'll be talking to my dog, and I'll do it in different accents. Like, I have a Russian one. That's the one I give her commands in, is my Russian accent. Shh. But I have to feel comfortable. But then my problem is I'll start getting the accents mixed in together. So one sentence will be British, one sentence will be like a hick accent from down south. I have antics. The crazy's cool till we are done draining the swamp. We got a big swamp to drain. You know, warning signs that popped up. I saw James Rink yesterday pop up on my notifications. I was so tempted to tune in. I think all I did was just sit around in pain yesterday. Took a 3-hour nap. Oh man, when I woke up from that nap, I went right back to vomiting. I hurt so damn bad, the vomiting started up again. And that Zantac stuff is not working anymore. I can't take the pain. When I started to kind of gain weight, What are you guys doing today? I'm cold. Excuse me for a second. I have to get a jacket. It's like I'm sweating, but I'm freezing to death. But there's sweat pouring down my back and down my sides. Literally, like before I go to the store, I'll have to change my shirt because it's all wet from sweating. But yet I'm freezing. Oh. Holy shnikes. Okay. What are you guys doing today? I gotta come up. Huntress, you want to do a broadcast with me tomorrow? Come on. Nobody will know your name. Nobody will know your face. It'll just be you and me talking back and forth. We can talk about spiritual attacks. We can talk about the programming. Right off the cuff. You want to just think about it, Huntress? I'm dead serious. I need to broadcast from Fringe and stick to it. And I love broadcasting from Fringe. But, I want to have some guests come on with me. You wanna have a conversation with me on Fringe? We could talk about the spiritual attacks, things that survivors need to keep in mind. Oh, and also we could give advice to the people that are support to the survivors, because their support systems are just important as the survivor is. And we can't forget about those support systems. They need prayers and help themselves. And sometimes they also need suggestions, And another big thing is what not to do with the survivor. I can rattle off the list of things for people not to do with a survivor, because you will alienate them, break their trust, and you will actually damage them more than you will help them, because I went through it in my own personal life. Sure. I would love to, Huntress. Yeah. Do you got Skype? All you need is Skype. There's a couple of people I want to ask. I would love to get a round table going. If I could get a round table going, you know who I would pick? Now, mind you, I've never met these people personally, but I follow them. I'd like to get a round table with Woodward TV, A Call for an Uprising, Enter the Stars. KJ's pretty cool too. Who else do I really like? There's the guy from Unexplained Mysteries. He's got that accent. I think I listened to that show just for the accent. I am a sucker for accents. If you've got a British accent or an Australian accent, yep, I'm a sucker. And God forbid you have brown eyes, it's all over then. Because I love brown hair and brown eyes. My ex-husband was blonde hair, blue eyes. My grandmother was like, "Are you sure?" Yes, I'm definitely sure I should be doing this. No, not you and me with them. No, like, I just want to do you and me talking. No, but I'm saying, like, if I could do a broadcast and like put together a round table, the people that I would want to put around that table of the YouTube channels I follow. There's a couple of them. You're a sucker for brown eyes too. With blonde, green eyes. Wow, green eyes are beautiful. Green eyes are beautiful. I had an affair once back in my 30s, back when I was living a bad Christian life, a backslid Christian life. And the guy had green eyes. I should have dated him. I had every opportunity to, but yeah, his green eyes, man. I took one look at his eyes and I was like, you're the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. But no, I like brown eyes. That's my all-time favorite. I like dark hair, dark eyes. Yeah, dark hair with green eyes. Yep. That's a good one. To blue. Uh-oh. Don't flash him to us, Huntress. We'll start drooling at you. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. Yeah, I'm attracted to brown eyes. Yeah. My mother was always attracted to blue eyes. Everybody's got blue eyes. German, Mexican, and Irish. Wow, you must be beautiful, Tiffany, with that mixture. Half Irish, German, Polish, and the other half is Sicilian. But German has dark hair and dark eyes too. One of my best friends was all German, and he had dark hair, dark eyes. He didn't have blonde hair, blue eyes. Oh, stop it. You are too cute, Huntress. You're a very pretty girl, Huntress. Yeah, that kid that had the green eyes, he called me. I think it was like 2 years ago. And he got married. I was like, get out. You got married. I was like, boy, I give you my blessings. I hope it works. You better treat her good. I don't believe in divorce. I'm an ordained minister now. He about fell over when he heard that. But, so, I hope they're both doing well. I wish them success. Old school German, Jew. Welsh, Scottish, wow. Mexican, Irish with black hair, gray eyes, and red beards. Wow. Very interesting. My papa had one blue eye and one green eye, or I could be incorrect. It could be he had one blue eye and one gray eye. I think that's what it was one blue eye, one gray eye. My grandmother actually had reddish hair. This is the Irish, German, and Polish side. So my papa was Polish that had the blue and gray eye, the two different colored eyes. It was even on his Navy stuff. I have one of his Navy cards in here, and it says both eyes are different colors. It's marked on there. You love mixing. But my grandmother, she was, I guess, the Irish and German. She had the red hair. My mother had brunette hair, but my dad's side of the family, all of them dark hair, dark eyes. You're an Illuminati Aryan's wet dream. I'm sorry. Oh, you poor thing. I'm sorry, Andrew. That was a good comment, though. I gotta give it to you. It sucks. Yes, I have to agree. I have to agree. I've seen what you look like, and yes. Yes. They go for pretty girls with features like you. But there's more to it, though. There's more to it because you have like that sixth sense about you, you know? Dark hair, dark skin, and brown cinnamon eyes, and she is Polish. Wow. 2 different color eyes, and I am blonde with green. Wow, blonde with green eyes. You're the blonde sheep of the family. Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. Nobody could say what I was. Was I white? Was I Jew? Was I Greek? Yeah, Huntress. I got my sense of humor back yesterday. I think it was yesterday I ran a video where I said I woke up somebody else. Yeah, I felt like somebody else because, like, I was laughing about things. I was even, like, busting jokes with Keeper, you know? I was still in pain, but I'm pretending I don't have it right now. I'm pretending there is no migraine. It looks like I'm heading to the 5th dimension for a while. All right, sweet dreams, Gabrielle. I'll be praying for you. I today am not going to be taking a nap. I today, in 6 minutes, am going to the store to food shop for the lady downstairs. And I got to get myself a couple of things. I had money. I felt like I was rich there for a couple of days because there was money in my checking account, but then I paid my bills. I'm back to broke. If I didn't have to pay my bills, I would have money for food and for everything else I need. And at this point, I shouldn't have to pay for electricity. It should be free for all of us. Yeah, I need to also, that's another thing. I need to work extra hard with getting back to not smoking cigarettes, not drinking Coca-Cola. And if I have to fall or stumble or relapse, then maybe instead of a Coca-Cola, it could be on a ginger ale. Instead of a cigarette, maybe on a vape. Because I know that there's times that I stumble, I fall, I relapse, but just so long as I get back up on the horse and I start quitting again. Yeah, I want to give up the cigarettes. I enjoy smoking, but I also I don't want to be messing around with them anymore. You know? I'll talk to you later, sweetie. Yeah, I actually gotta get going too and be responsible. You know what I should do is eat my beef stroganoff before I go. My beef stroganoff came out so good, guys. It was so worth cutting up the 8 ounces of mushrooms and the 2 onions. Boy, that recipe was good. I feel the same way. Yeah. So I just want to do better overall. I want conviction in my heart. I wish I could take you with this camera around the apartment, but I can show you real quick something. Like here. Hang on. Okay. I have these little notes. You, Dave Off, I asked you to quit. He did not ask you to get into a cage. Holly, you put smoking and vaping before him. Holly, you have many broken promises. I can keep my medicinal marijuana in my kratom though. But, and then I have another one on my door there that says, stop smoking. It is scripturally sound. No vaping. But, and then I have a couple other notes. I have one note on my table that says, what's important to you, Holly? What's important to you? If Yudhe Vafe is actually really important to you, then you're gonna have a clean temple for him. You know, like, I don't need to be smoking 20 cigarettes a day. And I'm not a person that can just keep it to one a day. I'm not. I enjoy it. I'm going to go back and get the other 19. Let me be very honest, you know, so. But I also feel if my hands are empty, then Abba will have the ability to put something he wants in them. Like, so I'm really trying to give all the control of me over to him. Boy, am I skinny. I actually gained 3 pounds, believe it or not. I was looking at pictures of Angelina Jolie. Have you seen how skinny she is? Look who's talking. The pot calling the kettle black. But at least I don't have all that makeup and glossy crap all over me. Natural. See, look. That is all I know. It's if I keep asking. Yes, author. I do fall off, but I keep getting back up and praying. That's what I do, author. And as long as we're trying, that's what I do. I mean, I give my gestures to him, and ultimately I want to stay quit. Oh, that must be coming from next door. Yeah. I leave notes for myself, and I'm going to do that with smoking. Dang, that I hate enjoying it. I enjoy it too, Warrior for Christ. I have another note in my bathroom. It says, Holly, conviction. What if God did ask you to quit smoking? What if he did ask you to quit vaping? In all honesty, I told Heavenly Abba when I gave my covenant to him 7 years ago that I would stay away from cigarettes and that I would just stick to vaping at worst. But ultimately, I wanted to give it up. So right now, for me to pick up a cigarette, I am breaking my promise that I gave to him. Because I said I wouldn't do anything worse than vaping. And I have in fact broken my promise to Abba. So I decided that I wanted to give up vaping too, because, you know, I didn't stick to my word in the first place, and he had given me an allowance, and I didn't stick to my word to him for whatever reason, doesn't matter. So I decided to take the vaping away from myself as well, because, you know, he had already given me an allowance. And I took advantage of it. Right. And I ask him when I quit, I say, Abba, can I have your power to overcome the Nick Fit? Can I just rely on your strength right now? Like, I'm sorry I got myself into this mess. I'm sorry I picked up my first cigarette, and I'm sorry I got addicted. You know, I don't want this for myself anymore. I want to remember the days when I was a kid and I ran free. I never had all of these things attached to me. I don't want these things attached to me. The only thing I want to have to worry about grabbing when I go out of the house are my keys, dog, and cat. Exactly, author. I gotta get something to eat. What can I grab that's fast? I don't know, but I gotta get going because I got a food shop, man. Sucks. I really don't want to go. I mean, I'm a happy, cheerful giver. Can't you see? I'm teasing. No, I am. But just, it's a lot right now. Miso soup, right? I'm going to go check out the Japanese section of, who are these people? I'm going to go check out the Japanese section. No, I'm not. What? I'm really grateful to people. I'm really grateful to people. You have no idea how much I'm appreciative. I had to cancel my Thanksgiving plans with a family from Michigan because I don't feel well. And that was pretty devastating for me. So now this other person comes along and is asking me a bunch of questions about Thanksgiving. And I said, listen, I canceled my plans because I don't feel well. Now they are literally hounding me and won't take no for an answer. I wish I never gave them my phone number, and I will end up blocking them on my cell phone if I have to, ultimately changing my number because I really don't care. Let me give you a backdrop on this person that's hounding me. They're much older than me. They send me pictures of themselves from younger years. I don't know why. I know what they look like. I've seen them face to face, so I don't need pictures, and I'm not asking for one, and they're not exactly asking me if I see Yeshua shining through them when they send me these pictures. So I really don't know what the hell that's about. But to me, that's like a red flag if I'm going to look at a situation for what it is. I feel like the person is sweet on me, and I hate it. And because I hate it, I feel like picking up the phone and yelling at this person and saying, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm going on 2 weeks now that I don't feel well. No, I just canceled my plans. If I canceled my plans, that does not mean I want to go to your house with you. And I don't have any intention on meeting any family members because the way you're acting, you're kind of making me feel like you're bringing me home to meet them for acceptance or some crap. And no, we're only ever going to be platonic friends. I don't want to deal with this right now. I find it to be pressure. Thank you for the invite, but no thank you, because right now the impression I'm getting is you're trying to be more than you're not trying to be my friend. You're trying to be something else, and I'm not offering anything else to you other than a platonic friendship. You can take it, you can leave it, but you can't have anything else. Not from me, at least. Warrior for Christ, it's not you, it's me. They don't understand what I put up on Facebook anyway. I talk about altars. They tell me they don't understand, and that's just more reassurance and reinforcement that they're not the one for me. Because if you can't understand what I'm talking about, that means we're not on the same playing field, and you better get off my turf. You know? I need somebody that knows about these MK Ultra projects and what I went through. I need somebody that knows what happened to me, so when I go to talk about my experiences, it's not like I'm speaking a foreign language to them. They're like, oh, okay, Holly, yeah, I get what you're talking about now. You know? Or, yeah, you know what, Holly? I got a relationship with God, too. I can relate because he does similar things with me as well, you know? If the other person doesn't have those two things, then it's a no-brainer. Nothing's going to work. So why bother trying at it? And I'm not... shit. I don't want to get into it really, but I typically go for younger men. So I'm really not trying to pick up grandpa. I might grandpa it by wearing my socks with my sandals, but I ain't trying to pick up a grandpa. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. I need somebody to understand spiritual warfare. If they don't know about spiritual warfare, then me having any type of relationship with them just would not work. Because of the fact they would not be joining me in spiritual warfare, so the enemy would have the advantage over me in making sure my relationship broke up. It's so Michigan. That's my favorite, socks and sandals. Yeah, it is. I'm not. No. Like if one of you was passing through Jersey, I'd be like, yo, you better stop and meet me for coffee so we can hang out. You know, but I wouldn't be hitting on you. What we went through, right, warrior for Christ? Yeah, they don't. I wish I never gave out my cell phone number. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I don't know. I blocked a couple of people recently on my cell phone. I was like, you know what? I don't need your crap. If this is what you're going to hand me off the bat, then I can tell what the future is going to be like with you, and I just don't want to be friends with you after all. How about we say we are, but we really just part ways right here and now. But I blocked a few people because I don't want to hear from them. They took advantage of me when I was sick and pretty much ran me into the ground, and I can't. With how my altars are, I can't engage these people. I can't engage these people any further. It just wouldn't turn out to be a good situation. So it's better that I just keep my distance, because then I don't sin. I don't sin in my thoughts, and I don't sin in the real world. But I blocked a few people. I don't need games and lies. And I also don't need to be sick and have somebody dragging me out of bed because they're wanting attention, but I'm really physically sick and almost killing myself to help them out when they're fully capable to do it themselves. Yeah, it is. And I know it's Lucifer and them. I can see it. They can't. They know more about Satan than they do Jesus, and they don't have any inclination to want to know Yeshua. I just can't fathom how people are like that. How do you walk through each day? I mean, even, okay, so before I woke up from MK Ultra and I thought I was an everyday average Jane Doe like everybody else, before I woke up to realizing I was used in the MK Ultra projects, I have to be honest, I thought about God constantly. I really did. I was probably talking to him. Well, let me start that over. Just when I was a little kid, I remember my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather Enoch. He came to tell me of the story of the angels and the demons. So now here I am, 47 years old, and we have the Book of Enoch, and now I can read it for myself. But back when I was 4, 5, 6 years old, what did I know? But he taught me about them. And but still, like as a teenager, in my 20s, out of college, when I was working full time, in my 30s when I became disabled, I always was thinking about God, wondering what he was doing, what was going on, where he was, what it looked like where he was, who he was talking to, and about what was he saying. Like, I often always wondered about God, and thinking about God, and I would talk about God. I'd bring him up. It was not an awkward situation for me to bring up God. It was more awkward for me to say the word penis or masturbation than it was for me to sit there and talk about God to someone. Like, literally, I couldn't say those words, but I was comfortable to talk about God. I don't know. I always thought about God. I always knew he existed. I always wanted, like, more of him. Like, I wanted him to be talking to me. I wanted him to give me a calling. I just wanted more of him. And I often wondered what it was like for these people that, you know, step on stage and say they had a visit from an angel, a messenger of God, or that God gave them a dream, and then the whole entire dream, every detail of the dream came true. Not 50% or 80%. All of it. Maybe some people have the gift of dreams and visions, but they don't have the gift of interpretation. So at that point, just state the dream for what it is, and then ask other people, do you have the gift of interpretation? If so, what is it in Yeshua's name? It's taken me 7 years to learn the gift of interpretation. It just didn't fall in my lap in a split second. It takes time and work and effort. Plus, I got to show Heavenly Abba I mean it, and that I want him and I love him and I'm going to worship him. Yeah, warrior for Christ. Do you remember him from the time before you were born here on earth? Because if you're telling him you miss him, then do you remember him from before you were born on earth? I do. There's a couple of people that I remember from up there that I recognize down here on earth, but it's different. It's just different. Oh, my pleasure. Stumble you, but keep focused on Yeshua and you stand strong. The foundation. Thank you, author. Yud Vav Hey. Bless you and yours greatly. And I'm going to get her name wrong, but I'm always praying for Rose. I think that's her name. I'm always praying for people. You did? You walked in heaven? Wow. One time, when I was 13 years old and Papa died, Heavenly Abba brought me to heaven. And I saw our elders, our ancestors. There's a couple of things there, people there. It wasn't like, I think I was seeing his courts of heaven. But when Papa died, he showed me heaven. And then he said he would be my dad from now on. And I said goodbye to Papa. And then that was all. The New Jerusalem, it's real, guys. Heavenly Abba showed me the New Jerusalem in my dreams. It's real. It's a real place. It's a real place that we're going to be. It exists. So, what the Bible says in it, it's real. That's the biggest thing that Abba has taught me, is that the Bible is his living logos. It's breathing, it's real. And just because the book ends doesn't mean we do. And like, we're just getting started. We are literally just getting started. We get to see him reign for 1,000 years. Then after that, we get to see him throw Lucifer in the pit of fire and brimstone, along with the beast of the sea and the beast of the land, which is what we're facing right now. We get tribulations for 7 years with those two critters. Yeshua returns, knocks him into the lake of fire and brimstone. Yeshua reigns for 1,000 years. And then at the end, Lucy starts up trouble again But Yeshua reigns supreme and undefeated. He defeats Lucifer and throws that thing, the dragon, ancient evil, into the lake of fire and brimstone too. So guys, we're actually just getting started. If you think you're worn out and exhausted and you're ready for retirement, so to speak, allow me to be the bearer of bad news. We just get started. We just got started. And yes, I believe that Yeshua's reign is an actual, literal 1,000 physical years of reign here on earth. I think it's a literal and physical reign where he's king for 1,000 years, walking the face of the earth. Like, but you remember how he was alive before he got crucified, resurrected, and ascended to heaven? Yeah, he's going to come back like that in the same capacity and reign for 1,000 years. I do not think it is a figurative amount of time. I think it is a literal, physical, he's reigning for 1,000 years. This is his world. We have yet to see him rule it. He created this world. He created all of it. So now we're going to get to see him rule it. The Prince of Persia is going to get really ticked off. And the Prince of Persia is dragon, ancient evil from Revelation. Hitler was trying to have the Third Reich rise and rule for 1,000 years. The evil ones, the people following these demonic entities, that's what the New World Order is about, is getting rid of all of us and setting up their rule for 1,000 years. The Fourth Reich is rising to literally set up their 1,000 years of rule. They're trying to literally, physically reenact Revelation. The problem is that God knew that they were going to do this. That's why he gave us these prophecies, so that you and I would know what they were doing and what they're up to, so we can offensively pray against their demonic efforts and actions. So we're just getting started. You and me, we get resurrected a couple of times, apparently. We get resurrected when the seventh trumpet's blown, when he returns to set up his 1,000 years of reign and his kingdom on earth. And then we get to watch him defeat the bad guys 2 times over. We get to watch our God do that. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I don't fear the day of the Lord. I fear for the people that don't have the Lord, that aren't trying to get right with him, that are not trying to have a relationship with him. I love my relationship with him. He's so awesome. He's the coolest God ever. He is. He really is. That's why I draw him so many pictures. And this is his birthday card, by the way, that you see behind me. I celebrate his birthday in September, when he was actually born. I don't celebrate pagan holidays such as Christmas. And you can talk to me until you're blue in the face and tell me how God knows your heart. But if you're going to pick up a tree and say, well, it reminds you of the tree that Jesus was crucified on, I ain't buying it. I ain't going for it. That's man's traditions. It's false doctrine. You're trying to take a false idol and turn it into a holy object. It doesn't work like that. Why don't you take Yeshua, who is holy, and focus on him? Anyway. Sorry. False doctrine and man's traditions. I hate man's traditions. I'm humbled warrior for Christ. He's the best dad ever. He is the best dad ever. So tall and glowing, so hard to explain on this. Yes, bluish crystal-like pies. Feeling so wonderful. It was a gift because warrior for Christ. I believe you. I believe you. I'm trying to think what else I could get from the store. Because I'm going to have to go for this lady, and I don't know what to get. I'm going to do myself a favor. I'm going to cook a cheeseburger first, so I'm going to run late for her, and I'm going to eat my cheeseburger first, and I'm going to go on a full stomach so I can manage it, because I've only gotten a little bit of breakfast in. I think it was September 11th. I think that's why they did 9/11 and they sacrificed those 3,000 people over in New York City in the towers, was because it was one of the biggest human sacrifices done on his birthday. Ultimate smack in the face to God. They're all about disrespecting God. That's why they're making a big deal about Christmas, because you're actually focused on Krampus. There's nothing... Christ isn't in Christmas, no matter how you cut the pie, in my humbled opinion. Okay? Baby, I hear people talk about baby Jesus. I believe in the baby Jesus, like that movie Talladega Nights, and they think it's cute. It's really not. There is no baby Jesus. Yeshua HaMashiach is fully grown, crucified, dead, resurrected, and ascended. He is not a baby anymore. He's a full-grown man. What are you doing worshiping a baby Jesus? That's the false Messiah. That's Satan you're worshiping with your baby Jesus. But you think it's cute because you saw it on a movie called Talladega Nights, where Will Ferrell's trying to crack a joke, and you want to be cool like him. Well, I'm glad you're going to be cool like him. I'd rather be in Abba's will and bound for heaven than to be cool here on earth. And you believe in that garbage, you know where you're going to land? In a place outside of his love. You think this earth is hell? You think life is hell? You think life sucks? You've got no idea what you're in store for. Now, I'm not saying this to my chat room. I mean that to the public. What the... I'm going to start cooking my cheeseburger right now. Can you just give me a moment? I am so ticked off right now. I'm gonna yell. That guy's such a jackass. Like, no, I don't want to go. Like, dude, I've got a migraine. I'm not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. I couldn't have my friends come over. And now you're gonna hound me? No, I'm blocking him. That's just not right. I don't want to deal with this. This is why I don't give my cell phone number out. This is exactly why. love you. All right. Okay, sorry. Forgive me. I started cooking. You're the third person that I heard that say his birthday is on 9/11. I hate that they make him seem so weak. They do. They make Yeshua weak. They deflate him. That September is actually the month of a lot of power and sacrifice. Really. My birthday is September 12th. And I believe his is the 11th. Yeah, they make him weak. Like a day for God, which will be 10,000 years, right? Right? I thought a day for Christ was 1,000 years. Is it 10,000 or is it 1,000? I thought to ask. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude. September 11th and the daughter's September 8th, really? My dad's was September 15th. He's deceased. Mine's the 12th. It's 1,000? Okay. Because I was starting to think, because if it's 10,000, then my mathematics aren't working out. Not that my mathematics work out anyway, but... What was I thinking about with God? They make him weak. I saw a meme of a banner, a huge banner hanging down the side of a Catholic church. And on this big, huge banner, just, like the Nazis in Germany, they would have those big banners hanging down the sides of their building, and they'd be red, and right smack dab in the middle would be the swastika. Okay, well, if you take a big banner like that, it was on the side of a Catholic church, and it said, the meme said, "The blood of Christ will not save you from COVID." All the power, all the authority, and all the strength of earth and heaven above is in that name, Yeshua HaMashiach. It is him. Period. I cannot wait to see Yeshua HaMashiach himself strip Satan, aka the devil, aka Lucifer, the fifth fallen cherub that took a third of heaven with him. I cannot wait to see Yeshua conquer him. Am I joking? No, my birthday's September 12th. My dad's was the 15th. What was I saying after that? I forget, and I forgot what I was just saying now. They make Jesus weak. All the power, under the sun, above the sun, and in the sun, all of the power, anywhere and everywhere, it's all Yeshua. It's all his. It's not ours. It's not theirs. It's not yours or mine. It's definitely his. I can't wait to see him strip Lucifer of Lucifer's title. I can't wait to see Lucifer stripped of his rule here on earth. Currently, Lucifer apparently is up by the Arctic Circle, but apparently he frequents the Rothschild's estate over in England for dinner every night. So that thing, Lucifer, is alive, well, in this world, breathing, working, and moving around. I gotta check on my cheeseburger. How dare them? Yeah, the sign, it was a May I saw on a Catholic church. The it said the blood of Christ will not save you from COVID. Listen, warrior for Christ, let me go grab my sword. I'm coming with. I just gotta flip my cheeseburger. I feel the same way. Okay. I know, guys. My animals are so excited because they know they're going to get a cheesy burger. Blanky! How are you, Blanky? It's great to see you, sweetheart. So, yeah, they minimalize Yeshua. Like, even the little gray aliens. You know, once they were done scaring the daylights out of me, they started to actually show me things. I know it sounds fantastical, but they showed me how their spaceships worked. And it's just connecting points. And I don't know. They had a holographic movie of when Yeshua HaMashiach was crucified. And this one time, when they abducted me, I came to, and I remember seeing this hologram movie playing, and I remember seeing Yeshua being beaten. And I remember seeing him hang there. So these little gray aliens were basically saying how, like, Yeshua, Jesus, was like a gladiator. He was just a really strong guy. And because he was dying, he decided to take on the sins of the world. But it was just a personal choice he made. Otherwise, he was just a regular, average, everyday Joe Schmo. But, you know, the reason why they crucified him was because he was strong like a gladiator. But that's all he was, is like a gladiator fighting type. That's it. So you're right, they minimalize him. They make him weak. All these churches closing down? No. Every church that's closed down ought to be ashamed of themselves, and I don't give them blessings. They should have stood up and been the first ones screaming from their rooftops, from their little steeples, or chapels or temples or whatever. No, my God is bigger than COVID. I'm not shutting down. No, my God is bigger than COVID. I'm not shutting down. And all of them, they're wimps, wusses, liars, fakes, frauds, hypocrites. Oh, but don't worry, Holly, we still had drive-through church. You still accommodated the beast system. Hang on, that's my cheeseburger. Mm-mm. No licking your chops. It's my cheesy burger. I'm so hungry. Yeah, I'm eating lunch before I go food shopping for the lady because I won't make it. Right? That's what I do is I get the hamburger meat and bring it home from the store, pack it up, and then put it in little Ziploc bags because it's just me. That way I can take one hamburger out and thaw it. But excuse me, Heavenly Abba, please join me for this wonderful food you cooked me and put in front of me and provided. I love you. Mm-hmm. Oh, right, the ley lines. I think the Guardians and those giants down in Antarctica, I think they were literally trying to rip apart Abba's creation. Like, literally trying to rip it apart. Man is making CERN to rip down the veil between us and the fallen ones. I think when the giants were here on the earth, which they still are, I bet you they were down at, what is that, the 80th parallel? Because at the 80th parallel, that's where you can see the dome that goes over the earth. You can see the dome that goes over the earth. I guess in, what was it, 1957, when all the countries made an agreement that nobody could travel down to the Antarctica anymore, all of the encyclopedias changed and that information was taken out. And now round earthers laugh at people like me when I try to give them information such as that. And it's like, go look into it yourself, dude. I just gave you everything. No, you don't want to look it up because you might find out that I know what I'm talking about. And you don't. I know I'm a girl. I know it hurts. But get rid of pride. It's very unbecoming. Oh, maybe it was 1954. I was wondering that, Blinky. There's gotta be, because what? Over in New Zealand, even over in Peru, I think you do in Australia too. There's tunnels that go from you straight down to the Antarctic. To Antarctica. Like in your country, you can get there by tunnels. New Zealand, I'm certain of. That's why Max Spears would pop up and Christland or whatever's out there. But you're close to that. Hey, Blinky, you gotta tell us what you see. Hey, everybody, Blinky's gonna see the giants come up upon the earth when they get released from the abyss. She'll be able to see them and spot them first. She'll send us pictures so we know what we're dealing with. That's a terrible thing to bust chops about. I'm sorry, Blinky. No, but seriously, you are down there. Christchurch, New Zealand. Yeah, but seriously, you're down there. And there's a bunch of things happening. And why is everybody going down there? But I think, because we have the 12 guardians, I think it is. There's guardians down in Antarctica. They're not our friends. I know that the politicians keep going to get someone's permission. I know there's a civilization flash frozen in place down there, but I also know there's a living civilization there as well. I know there's a pyramid in Antarctica because I believe we were there as active super soldiers at that pyramid. You guys have seen it. It's in all the pictures. It's the technology that's there. Like Bermuda Triangle, that's probably a Stargate, or excuse me, a Seagate, which is a Stargate, except it's on the ocean floor. It's underneath the waves. There's one in Bimini. But in Antarctica, I would be really worried, man, Blinky, if I were situated right where you are, because you got nowhere to run. You only got such a small continent to run on. At least America's a little bit bigger. You can skip up to Canada, and then from there, you're stuck on an island. I always wanted to go to Australia. Mm-hmm. I wonder what they did build them for. Okay, so if it's not for oil, then what is it for? How big are these pipelines? Are they big enough to have like a little cart in it on magnetized tracks? So you can shoot a cart down it like speed lightning? I did not know that, warrior for Christ. Oh, if you can stand up in these actual pipes. I wonder what they are actually going to have rolling through them. My poor cat and dog are disappointed with me because they didn't really get a lot of cheesy stuff. I always share a little piece of my meal with my cat and dog. So then they can cargo people and drugs and assets, all unbeknownst to us, all through the actual pipe. So while people are starving, they'll have stuff running through the pipes. That's the thing everybody says, get Bitcoin and stuff like that, get gold and silver, and I see their point. Because once everything's done and over with, your gold and silver is going to be worth a lot more. But the problem is the whole world's going up in flames. Gold and silver melt, and you can't eat it. And if there's nothing on the shelves to buy to eat, It's worthless. But I'm also thinking that when Yeshua HaMashiach reigns, I'm not quite sure he's going to have a financial system like the Rothschilds have. So hopefully when Yeshua reigns, we won't have a financial system. We won't have money at all. Electric will be free. Running water will be free. Let me get some gold, kids. More than stand up. You can drive trucks through them. Oh, man. That's huge. That's huge. So you know what? When we're all starving to death, just break open one of those pipelines. Yeah, we won't need all this tech rubbish. I will look up the Michigan pipeline. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be uneducated or undereducated, but I'll look it up. I'm also forgetful, that doesn't help. Oh boy, man. I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and then I'm gonna go food shopping for the lady. I'm an hour late, but that's okay. She has food, she's not starving, and I'm going for her. I will accomplish it. I told her I would go to both Walmart and both ShopRite, and I told her not to worry, because there's a couple items that are very important to this lady. And I told her, don't worry, I understand, like, these 3 items are your all-time tops. I won't come home unless I have them in hand, okay? I'll go to both stores. If they don't have it, I'll call up and find another store that does carry it and get it for you, so I won't come home empty-handed. I'll come home with exactly what you sent me for. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, I know I saved you and saved a little bit, but you guys are going to have to wait a second. Okay. I gotta stop and cook. Okay, so I know, honey. I should have saved my cigarette for when I went out to the store. Hey, number 1. I'm going to call you number 1. I feel bad calling you bum number 1. I am not calling any one of my friends bum, okay? It's good to see you. Yeah. Hey, Steve and Mo. You're late to the party. That's okay. We'll have an after party and then an after party and then an after party. So you're not late. You're right on time. Steve and Mo. You're right. I do sound better. I can feel it in my throat. And definitely I can hear it in my voice. I'm getting my sinuses under control. It's just the migraine that's still giving me a problem. Like, I'm in so much pain, I'm starting to go numb from it. But yeah, I also I'm getting back on the bandwagon with not smoking. I know it doesn't look like that right at this moment, but I got provisions because it's really paramount. I think that I spend the rest of my time keeping my body pure, no cigarettes, and ultimately quit the vaping. If I'm gonna mess up, then mess up on the vaping, not the cigarettes. But anyway, I want to get back to like being all pure and getting rid of this. And I quit this. I was doing great, but with the migraine, oh God almighty. I think what I'll do is get Coke syrup. That's it. Because then next time I won't get a Coca-Cola. I'll just get the Coke syrup for the upset stomach. Right? And that should be better, I think. Coke syrup. But, and then I blocked my mother. So I could get some peace. That night, I almost fell asleep at the wheel three different times. And I was like, oh my God, Holly. Pull to the side of the road. Wide awake. No problem. Get on the road and drive. Just so, like, until this headache goes away, I am not driving more than 2 miles down the road. And the elderly lady downstairs that's not mobile, she is not capable to do it. The stores are only 2 miles away from here, so not 30 miles. And there's a big difference. So, and I want to make sure she's got stuff, because if I don't go, she doesn't have anybody else to go for her. Yeah, there's Coke syrup. But I've been starting to eat better when I do eat. Like, for instance, today my breakfast was a container of cottage cheese, and for lunch was a cheeseburger. I'll probably have beef stroganoff for dinner tonight. So, like, as far as when I'm eating, it's better. But I tell you, like, late at night, I get stuck on these things. The dollar store rocks for junk food. I found Gatorade and Pedialyte at the dollar store. I gotta go back and get more of their Gatorade and Pedialyte. $1 for these things. I got a whole bag of candy. Oh, but I did myself a favor. This is going to help me get back. Sometimes I get these memory blocks. Sometimes. All the time I get memory blocks, and I can't remember things. I can't process things, and it's like I'm just stunned, and my brain it's like sputtering. I just remembered, like, Alka-Seltzer can work for me. I mean, I don't get sick anymore like I used to. I mean, kratom and medicinal marijuana has been fine for the past 7 years. I just don't really have these ailments. Typically, it's arthritis and stuff like that. But I got nailed this last time. I don't know who that one phone number is, though. I hope they left me a message so I can find out later. Fruit. I love fruit. I spent $40 one day because I went and I bought fruit, and I bought everything I wanted. So I got grapes, blueberries, raspberries, kiwis, cherries. So whatever they had that looked halfway decent. I bought, because I'll eat the daylights out of fruit. And I had like 2 big, huge bowls filled with fruit. I went through them in like less than a week. Like, I remember when fruit was cheap. And now it's so expensive. It's like, oh my gosh, but I eat the daylights out of fruit. Then will let you. That is so retarded, Blinky. I'll give you my. Well, I don't have CBD, but I got Delta 8. I'll give it to you. You can have it. I would rather have the sativa plant itself and like eat it, because then I'm getting the full medicinal benefits of the plant, and I'm looking for what it does inside my body. I'm not looking for the high. I'm looking for the pain to come out of my body. And medicinal marijuana, sativa, specifically sativa, just, it helps to make the pain just go away, just not exist anymore. And, Percocet and Dilaudid, methadone or Suboxone or any of that crap, it's just not going to work. At least with the medicinal marijuana, I feel it keeps my brain together. It also gets rid of the MK Ultra programming. It brings my memories back to me, what happened from me in the past, and they're pretty brutal. But if I went through it once and survived, I can go through it a second time and remember, I'm getting a lot better with things. Like, I can probably sit here and talk to you about Pizzagate and what they did to me now and not cry. Whereas last year when I did that video with David, Author, and Vicky, I cried my way through the whole thing. But now I would get through it just fine. I'm okay with it. And I can talk about it like, matter-of-factly. And, every once in a while the emotions get to me. Because, like, if I look at myself, like now, I can't watch my interviews anymore. Because when I look at myself, I see all that pain and trauma. And I can't look at myself. I can't see it. Because I'm looking at the kid in the cage, and I don't listen or watch my interviews anymore. Like, even here on YouTube, I don't. I used to when I first came out. Like, I'd run 20-minute videos, go back and watch them and go, yeah, I like it, put it up, or no, I don't, shoot again. I don't do that stuff anymore because pretty much most of the time I can't listen to myself. I can't listen to the pain. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that it even happened to me to begin with. I know it's been 7 years, but I gotta tell you, still a lot of times I walk around, I think to myself, Jesus, I can't believe this is my life, Yeshua. Like, literally, Yeshua, I can't believe it. Like, I really need you to process this for me. And just the fact I have a connection with you, the creator that the Bible talks about, that blows my mind too. That really blows my mind that I could have a relationship with God just like Noah did. So can you guys. You just got to seek him for it, and he'll give it to you. You just got to take a knee and seek it. Holly, what's that on the screen, the top right, that looks like a code? That's my Bible code. I can tell you a little bit about it from what I remember. There's 2 or 3 sheets to my Bible code. This is the first one. Up here, you see these little green boxes. I think it's these boxes right here. It's right along the top. It says remnant. This right here with my cursor up and down, these purple looking boxes. That right there is my name, Holly Baglio. My friends looked it up for me. This is their spiritual gift that they shared with me. I've been wanting this done for like 6 years, and then last year they blessed me with this as a gift. Man, it was such an encouragement to draw me closer to Abba. I do not use these Holy Bible codes as a means to predict the future. No. I think these Bible codes are just a message about our lives. So, okay, this is the first sheet, but under here, so these people, they did it the right way. They looked up Holly Baglio, and then they looked up Holly Baglio Super Soldier, and they came up with a whole bunch of stuff. But this is the first of 2 pages. Right here underneath my name, Holly Baglio, that's Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey, Yud Hey Vav Hey. If you look at it from a distance, right, it looks like it's almost a horse. Like the red is its body, and then you got like blue hooves, and then a yellow and blue tail, a black mane. But anyway, in my Bible codes, it's not on this sheet, it's on the second sheet, but it does say that I have been broken physically and I am broken mentally, but they did not break my spirit. It said that I am, on the second sheet, I have to have my codes reread for me and go back through this again with the person that gave it to me. But on the second sheet, it addressed the fact that I was used in these super soldier projects. And it said that they broke me physically, they broke me mentally, but not spiritually. God said that I am blameless and flawless because he covers me with his blood. It's only by the covering of his blood that I am blameless. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so when I got... This isn't going to work. I just screwed up my screen, didn't I? Yeah. So when I got my relationship with Abba, he covered me with his blood. So basically, he accepted my prayer of salvation. He accepted me seeking him, and that's all I had to do. And then he covered me with his blood. And now that I'm covered with his blood, he can look at me and say, okay, yes, this is what Holly did wrong in her life, but yes, this has also happened to her. The angel that was assigned to me at birth, I remember from the time before I was born. I remember, I think it was Gabriel, Uriel, and Michael that I remember from the time before I was born. So I remember Uriel. I thought it was Gabriel and Michael. Well, one of the angels that is assigned to me actually came out in my Holy Bible code. There's like a few sentences in my Bible code about the angel. Like, it's like the angel is talking, like, so to speak, you know, like, okay, this is God's message to Holly, but I'm the angel now assigned to Holly, and the angel comes out in my code. I have a video somewhere on YouTube. I wonder if I could find it, because I sure would like to remember what they told me. But there's all of us have a Bible code. There's a message from God for all of us in our Bible codes. You know how Paul Baglio talks about the blessed hope, the rapture. Yeah, well, that came out in his Holy Bible code. So, like, what I went through in the dumbs, that came out in my Bible code. The other thing, I got to say this to you guys for my own protection, because there's a set of Holy Bible code searchers out there that are bad, and there's a whole war going on, and they have misused my codes. They do it wrong. They will look up the word prophetess and then try to fit my name around it. No, that's wrong. I really got to go, because that's the neighbor calling me. I got to call her back because I'm an hour late. But there's a whole set of people out there that will misuse your codes. So I don't really, even if I found my video about Holy Bible codes, I can't play the video right now. Bible codes, would it be here? Bible codes. It's not coming out. So, what are the yellow boxes? Sure, tell us. Okay, you know what I have to do, guys? First, before I can explain more of this Bible code to you, I'm going to have to go find my video that I made where I showed both sheets and I read them out loud. This is all in Hebrew. So, the yellow boxes mean a certain color, a certain thing. The orange boxes mean something. The red, the blue, they all mean something different. And as also where they fall, their axes, that plays a role in it. But this is a spiritual gift, and I don't have this gift, so I wouldn't know how to. I mean, I have the software for this, but I don't have the spiritual gift, so the software is virtually useless to me. But I will say there's another important aspect to these codes. It's where your name falls in the Holy Bible. Right? So my name, Holly Baglio, falls in King of Kings, Jeremiah. My name falls in all the books of the prophets. And my name, Holly Baglio, falls in Psalm 119. And that's the most longest, most beautiful psalm there is. I think it's because there's a poem for each letter of the Hebrew language in Psalm 119. But I think Abba had my name run through it as like a breadcrumb to me, because I was put through Alpha, Beta, Delta, Gamma, Epsilon, all those different MK Ultra projects in the DUMS. And there's like a project for each of the Greek letters. So instead of my altars getting all strung out on looking at Greek letters that look like symbols, I can say phooey with it. And I can pick up the Bible, read or listen to Psalm 119. And now I am learning his language. I'm learning his letters. I'm focused on him. And now that I'm reading or hearing the Bible, that's where he's doing all the work. That's where all the healing is then able to commence. So Project Untrigger is basically my breakthrough, where I was able to read the Bible while my altars were highly triggered and I was being heavily targeted. And I can do that now, which has made a whole world of difference for me. Like a whole world of difference. So, yeah, when my altars get spinning and stuff like that, I turn to Psalm 119. I put down the Greek, I pick up the Hebrew, and I pick up his language. Oh, no problem, warrior for Christ. Shh. I've been taught. Wow. Eat plenty of veggies. Gummy lifesaver. So, you know how I conquered Project Ibis? I'll tell you this, and then I really gotta go. Project Ibis, IBIS, that's the bird that's inscribed on the Egyptian pyramids, like Thoth. Well, Project Ibis, us kids were instilled with Egyptian principality, Egyptian principles, and Egyptology. So I found Thoth Moses in Egypt. Do you know who Thoth Moses is? Thoth Moses is a boy that was adopted by the Thoth bloodline. Thoth himself is a fallen angel, and his bloodline adopted a boy and named him Thoth Moses. Well, it just so happens that Moses made an exodus from Egypt through the Red Parting Sea with a bunch of slaves and some Egyptians and his brother Aaron. God had given him the instructions on how and when to escape. And he left Egypt. He made an exodus from Egypt, and he dropped all of that Egyptian principles and Egyptology. He dropped that way of living, that way of the Thoth bloodline, and he picked up Yeshua HaMashiach, and he followed God. And God used Moses mightily. God time traveled Moses from the Old Testament into the New Testament to the Mount of Transfiguration, where then Moses met Yeshua HaMashiach, God himself in human form, along with two of his other apostles, or three other apostles, and Elijah, who was also time traveled and had a torn cloak. Because back in the Old Testament, Elisha, Elijah's servant, has the other part of the torn cloak and got a double portion of the blessing. So, in all these ancient texts, you have all these different creation stories. They run in Egypt. You have the creation stories that come out of Sumeria, the Sumerian creation stories. So you have all these different creation stories. You have the creation story in the Bible. The one in the Bible is the truth. The other creation stories are not the truth. And the time periods are lies. The timelines are a lie. It's not tens of thousands or millions of years. We're talking hundreds to only thousands of years. The only time that any of these ancient texts and manuscripts and hieroglyphs and stuff, the only time any of their stories and our Holy Bible hit or meet, the only time they meet is in the story of Moses. Because Thoth Moses was adopted by the bloodline of Thoth. And he escaped Egypt and brought a bunch of people with him. And because I found myself reading, I went from meeting Thoth Moses to then reading about him in the Old Testament, and then I read about him again in the New Testament. And it conquered my IBIS programming. It conquered it. I saw my altar get up, and she took off all the jewelry, all the Egyptian guard, and the headdress and everything. And she took that off, put on plain clothes. That altar's healed. That programming is done and over with and has no power and effect over me. Oh, wow, Blinky, I believe it. I'll have to find out number one. I'll find out all that stuff and I'll get back to you guys. Because I forget too a little bit, but I'll find the video and I'll also try to find my notes too that I took. But it's really interesting. It is. So it definitely drove me closer to Abba. It made me want to do better for him, and it made me want to be closer to him, you know? So, but, but see, in my Bible codes, I don't give permission to anybody to look me up because my Bible codes within them tell what Joseph Mangli did in my creation. The Holy Bible specifically tells us not to chase after bloodlines. Or is it genealogies or something? He specifically tells us not to chase after stuff like that. Like, it's okay to wonder which of the 12 tribes we're from. That's only natural to wonder what tribe you're from. But when you get into like tracing these bloodlines and going all the way back, you know, you're going to find with these like Illuminati families, they are all literally sons of the Nephilim. Some people get run away with it and then raise themselves above God and start thinking they are a god because of their DNA. And the Bible tells us specifically not to chase after stuff like that. There were people that abused my Bible codes in the past and they chased after stuff like that. And when they found out, well, it pissed me off, I'll tell you that much. But it pissed off a few other people that they weren't expecting it to piss off. So it doesn't matter what Joseph Mangli did. It just matters that I am reformed, redeemed onto Yeshua HaMashiach. I am saved, delivered, set free. I have repented to him and I rededicate daily. That's what matters, is that I'm the wild vine grafted onto the branch, which is him, Yeshua HaMashiach. None of that other stuff in the past matters. Those bloodlines and that family from my past does not matter. It's Yeshua HaMashiach and the family that I have here and now that matters. And that's what I need to be focused on, is my tribe here and now. So I needed a right to privacy on that one, number one. I really did, because people really, they were trying to, one guy was trying to get married to me. He kept saying to me, "Oh, Holly, your name is circling mine. See, here's mine and your name is all around it. That means God's telling you to marry me." Ew. I'm not even attracted to you. I can't fathom kissing you or giving you a hug that's too close, let alone marrying you. I've never spoken to you. I don't even know what you sound like. The guy started sending me a bunch of pictures of himself. I was like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't give you permission to look up my name. You know how stupid he is? My name, Holly, translates to holy. So it's no wonder why the word holy was surrounding this guy's name, because he was reading the Holy Bible and Holly translates to holy. If you go over in the Middle East, they say they're going to have a holy war. It's a holy war. Ooh, don't say that too loud, Blinky. I pray you hedges of protection if you do that. Yes, it is warrior for Christ. It's just another form of Lucifer. I can't even say the word. Luciferianism. Did I say that right? Does Baglio translate into anything? I think bailiff. As far as the translates to anything in the Holy Bible, I don't think so. No, I don't think Baglio in the Bible means anything. But if you look up, like, what it means in general, Baglio is bailiff. Like, if you go back in my name, I guess my ancestors had a lot to do with the church. I don't know. But they were Catholic. I'm not Catholic. The Baglios, when I was 18 and they met me, after I'd met my dad, then I began meeting the rest of the family. And my relatives from Sicily would come over and I would meet them. I remember when they found out what religion I was, and I was like, Christian. I kid you not, every utensil and every hand fell out at the dining room table and a hush came over. What? I was like, yeah, I'm Christian. You're not Catholic? I was like, if you think I'm going to walk into a church and tell some dude my sins, you got another thing coming. I ain't asking him to forgive me. What would he know? What? Not what would he know? What? Forgiveness is not his to give to me. Why would I do that? No. Arrest you. Blinky, I want to go arrest Barry Obama. I'm coming for you, Barry. Make wands and other items for the witches and warlocks that want communications with demons and Lucifer. Holly is powerful, but you are the most powerful form of Holly. Thank you, warrior for Christ. Thank you. Yeah, I know that about my name, too. You know, the Hollywood keeps order. Oh, I'll keep order. All of us here, we're fine. It's everybody else. All right, so what I'm going to do is walk keeper now. Apologize to the lady downstairs that I'm an hour and a half late. And if I wasn't an hour and a half late, I could have been like done food shopping by now. But hopefully the lunch crowd is gone from the store and I can just have a breeze. Is it going to get worse before it gets better? I don't see it ever getting better. So we might have like periods of time where nothing's happening, but I just see things getting worse and worse. I don't see us ever, we're not going to return to what we once knew. And to get back to the freedom and that happiness that we had in the past, I do truly think it's going to take Jesus to come back. It's really going to take God to come back to set all this in the right motion. It's going to take him to correct us because this world is so damn fallen. It's not funny. You and I have been lied to so much. Lucifer's got a lot to pay. Him and his cohorts really do. I know that sounds stupid, but I can't wait until we get to those better days, and we will have better days, number one. We will. But I don't see it. I mean, okay, for instance, I know people are probably going to get upset, but I don't see, like, say hypothetically, I don't see Trump coming back to be president, and then all of a sudden the U.S. is strong and people have jobs again, and people aren't wearing masks, and, you know, there is no push of a mandated punch in the arm. There's no computer guy Gates directing our physical health bodies that he has no idea about. I just if you have Yeshua HaMashiach, I see it getting better for us because he will work directly in your life and you will benefit and you will prosper and you will see and he will be with you. But as far as the world around you, I think in Psalms in the Bible when it says, you're going to see 1,000 fall by your right hand and 10,000 by your left hand, I take the Bible literal. And that I'm not a rapturist. I believe we're going to be carrying Yeshua's gospel through the tribulation. But I do believe that we'll be, when we're walking through it, that's what's going to happen, is we're going to see 1,000 drop over there and 10,000 drop there. And nothing is going to touch a hair on our heads. That's why I keep pushing so hard to lead people to Yeshua. The way I perceive it, okay, 144,000 people is not a lot. It's not. But when I look at the world around me, see, I come here to you guys, so I got somebody to talk to. And what, there's 7 of us here? Okay, say I go to Now You See TV or Coach Dave or one of these other channels, right? And they get 15,000 views on a video. So basically, that's the equivalent to 1 out of 12 tribes watching their videos. And even though these 12 tribes are scattered worldwide, we're scattered all over the place. Okay, we're not just in New Jersey, we're also in Australia, we're also in New Zealand, we're also in China, we're also up in the Antarctic. We are all over the place. Up in the Arctic, down in the Antarctica, there's Adam's seed all over the place. People don't love him the way we do. People are not talking to him the way we do. Do you think somebody would want to sit and talk 3 hours about Jesus? You think any one of my neighbors wants to talk to me for 3 hours about Jesus? You guys are a select breed. You really are. And from my understanding, the 144,000 are sealed and no harm falls on them and God protects them through the tribulation. So I pray that you guys are sealed by Yud He Vav He. And I pray that no harm befalls you and your household or your fur babies. In Yeshua's name. I pray for your protections. I pray he seals you. At all, how can a Christian be a billionaire? He's one of them. I look at Trump as being the good faction. Like Majestic 12, MJ 12, they're the good faction. They did a rescue for us kids. I don't think Timothy Homeseth ever saved a kid, and they're not his Marines, and they never took down a dumb or saved any kids. Timothy Homeseth is not as strong and powerful as Majestic 12. They're so strong and powerful, you wouldn't catch them showing their face on YouTube. I look at Trump as being the good faction. I look at Bernie as being the bad faction. Bernie instead of Biden, the movie Weekend at Bernie's. Guys, really out there in the world, people are not interested in Yeshua. They're really not. They're going to wake up when it's too late. Hey, it's WP. It's great to see you, honey. Steve Amo. Thank you, Steve Amo. I accept that. But I pray we're all sealed and he provides for us. And yeah, I want to see these wondrous signs and miracles. We're going to see more stuff than Yeshua saw when he was, he's returning, so obviously, but we're going to get to see a lot of stuff before he returns. You know what I mean? So I can't wait. And he's elected us to carry his gospel. And the elect are not going to be deceived. The elect are going to stand back and say, wait a second, let me check myself first and foremost, and what have I done wrong? But let's make sure there's no man's traditions here, no false doctrine, bind and cast down these lying, stealing, mocking, lying, thieving spirits in Yeshua's name. And, you know, I go to these conferences, guys, and you would think more people would be there, and they're not. They're not. The great culmination. He's an international joke. Yeah, what a time to be alive. I think that too. Well, my pretty girls, it's great to see all of you guys. But now that I'm like 2 hours late for food shopping, but that's okay. I got a full stomach, and that's what matters. At least now I'll be comfortable walking around the store. But let me let you guys go. If God teaches me something fun, I'll come back and share it with you. Stop it. Don't start barking. Shh. Okay, so I love you guys. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. And thank you guys for your prayers and hanging out with me again. And let me go take care of my pretty dog before I go shopping. I'll see you soon, okay? I'll be praying with and for you. I will. Thank you, guys. I really had a good time hanging out with you. I really did. Thank you so much for your company. I don't feel so lonely. I don't feel so lonely and alone. So really thank you for your company. It did me a lot of justice. So I'm going to keep you guys in my heart and close to my heart. And I'll see you later.